My name's Angela. I'm a rap facilitator and I'm applying to become an advanced level rap facilitator. So here's my rap overview. What is rap? Rap is a wellness recovery action plan. It was created by Mary Ellen Copeland, who experienced ongoing mental health challenges herself. She did a study on others who had lived experience and ongoing mental health challenges as well. So rap starts with 5 key concepts, and the first key concept is hope. There's much to hope for. And the hope is that we can get well and stay well. There was a time in my life when hope was all I had. Nobody benefits from dire predictions. The second key concept is responsibility. It's kind of letting go of those woulda, coulda, shouldas, and if onlys, and looking deep within yourself at where you're at and how you want to proceed forward in your life. We are the experts on our own selves. There was a time in my life where I kind of stayed stuck on trying to figure out why things had happened to me the way that they had happened to me. And when I was able to set this aside and really focus on what I could do with where I was at, it was a huge milestone in my own journey to wellness and recovery. So the next key concept is education. This is another concept that I could really connect my wellness and recovery journey to, because when I was first in services, I kind of was determined to not stay in the situation I was in, and I read a lot of self-help books, and I learned a lot from those self-help books. I learned about food and mood and the certain types of foods that I could eat every day to stay well. There's many ways you can educate yourself about your diagnoses or certain medications that you're taking, or some that may be suggested to you, or things you might want to research. So there's wonderful websites, YouTubes, books, support groups. It's great to learn from others who have lived experience, to learn about the things that you can do to stay well, and anything else you might want to learn about. It's very key to recovery. So the next key concept would be self-advocacy. And in RAP, we talk about how just because we have ongoing mental health challenges doesn't mean that we don't still deserve all the things that we want to have in life, and that we should be held in high regard and with respect. So there's a certain way that we can ask for things and get the things that we want and need, and that's with a calm heart, cool temper, and to stick to the facts and continue to ask for what you want. Persevere. If you don't first get what you want the first time you ask, continue to ask for the things you want and need. So the next key concept would be support. This is another one I could completely connect my own wellness and recovery journey to, because when I was experiencing trauma in my life, I realized how many people really cared about what I was going through, and they were there for me through good times and through bad times. In RAP, when we talk about support, we talk about how support is like a bank account. We can't just withdraw. We have to give back and invest in that bank account. We got to invest in your relationships and stay connected to the people who really care about us and love us just the way we are. So the next section of RAP, those are the 5 key concepts, and the next section of RAP would start out with your wellness toolbox. And this is when I first started my first RAP, I had about 5 or 6 tools. Now I have just hundreds of tools, and I enjoy spending time trying these new tools, because it's amazing the things that people come up with. So what are wellness tools? These wellness tools are things to help you feel better when you're experiencing some uncomfortable feelings. They're things like things that are in my wellness toolbox is my dog. Spending time playing with my dog. He loves me unconditionally. spending time with my supporters, making phone calls, going for coffee, getting my nails done, exercise, walking. These are things that are in my wellness toolbox. And again, these are things that you specifically choose to use and that work for you to help yourself feel better when you're starting to experience any kind of uncomfortable feelings or situations in your life. So the next part is your daily maintenance plan, and there's kind of a ABC section to this. And the first section, A, would be, what am I like when I'm well? So this is a list, just a description of what you are like when you're well, just words. What I'm like when I'm well is I'm creative, I am social, cheerful, I have good wit, and sometimes I'm a little competitive. These are words that describe me when I'm well. The next section is things I need to do every day to stay well. And only you know what these things are. For me, this is another one that I could really connect my own wellness and recovery journey to, was daily maintenance, because it's something that I've always had in my life. For me, I know I have to have some kind of exercise in my life. So my daily plan looks a little like this. I get up, I eat breakfast, and I have to hit the gym before I go to work. I find that focusing on my exercises keeps me more clear and stable and improves my mood throughout the day. These are things I know I need to do every day to stay well. It's a solid plan. So somebody else's might be completely different. It might be as simple as I need to get out of bed, I need to take a shower, brush my teeth, take my meds, and eat breakfast. It could be that simple, but it's a guide to help you remember the things that you need to do every day to stay well. Only you know what those things are. The other section, the other section is other things you might want to do. So you might not want to wash your dog every day, but you might want to add that into your once a month. You might not want to volunteer every day, but you might want to do that once or twice a month. These are other things that keep you well. You might want to stay organized, so you might want to spend one day of the week make a room in your daily plan so that you can get organized for your week. These are things that are in my daily maintenance plan, and that's the three sections of your daily maintenance plan. The next section would be triggers. So what are triggers? Triggers are things that are external that cause uncomfortable feelings. An example of a trigger might be a baby, a dog, a loud noise, running into someone that causes you to feel uncomfortable, or an anniversary date of an event that's happened in your life. So these are all triggers, and what you're going to do is you're going to draw from that wellness toolbox, and you're going to find some things there that can help you feel better. It can be something like an affirmation, or just taking some deep breaths. Those things can be on your action plan. The next part is warning signs. Early warning signs are subtle things that happen that remind you that or cause you uncomfortable feelings, or it could be something like losing time. You're consistently late, 5 minutes late throughout your day. It could be something like as simple as forgetting to eat breakfast or leave dog food out. So you're going to, again, draw from that wellness toolbox and create yourself an action plan. One of the things that's on my action plan when I experience some early warning signs is to look back at my daily maintenance plan, and usually there's something on that plan that I'm missing. So the next part is when things are breaking down. That means things are getting worse. We don't like to get to this part, but we do. So what does that look like? This could be exhibiting some risky behavior, like spending money that you don't have, or not sleeping. It could be oversleeping, not having the motivation to get out of bed or do anything. So these are things that describe you when you're getting into a point where you might need to draw from some of your support, or getting closer to a crisis. So some of the things you might add in your action plan for when things are breaking down would be connect with a supporter. Have a supporter come and help you, come and check and see if you're taking your meds. Have a supporter take you to an appointment to see your therapist, or call your med prescriber and see if there's something else that you could add to your medications or take off of your medications. So or maybe just schedule an appointment. So the next part would be excuse me, your crisis plan. So there's 9 parts to the crisis plan, and your crisis plan can become a legal document called an advance directive if you choose for it to be. So the first part of the crisis plan would be what I'm like when I'm well. The second part of the crisis plan would be signs that your supporters need to take over or become involved. And your supporters, and you're going to specifically write in this plan exactly what you would like your supporters to do and what their responsibility will be to your to your crisis plan, should you enter a crisis. You're going to want a list of the next part. Third part will be you're going to want a list of who your supporters are and specifically what their actions they are to take. The fourth part is your medical information. Who are your doctors? Their contact information. What medications are you taking? What are your medications? What the times are that you're taking? These are really extensive list or detailed list of what the medications are, what you're taking them for, what times you're taking them for. Medications that you're allergic to or that have not worked for you, and other things that you might be willing to try should you enter a crisis. You're going to want your pharmacy information. You're going to want to keep this updated regularly if you may have any changes in your medical situation. So the next part is, the fifth part of the crisis plan is treatments. There are alternative treatments that you might find helpful, such as art therapy or music therapy, massage therapies, alternatives to medications. The sixth part is home and community and respite care. So oftentimes, a lot of people will think that it's better to remain at home or in your community, or have community care come into your home. It is good to research what's available in your community ahead of time so that you can make good choices when you're creating this plan for yourself. The seventh part is treatment facilities. And if you've ever been to a treatment facility, you know, and you've had a bad experience, you're going to write this down so that this would be your last choice. If you've gone to a treatment facility and there's one that you prefer, these are crisis beds in your community, and there's one that you prefer to go to, then you're going to write that down. If you've never been to a treatment facility, this is a good time to, when you're well, go out and do a meet and greet and see what's available in your community so you can make good choices for your crisis plan. And part 8 would be other things that you find helpful, and things that you might not find helpful. So you might find it helpful for someone to bring your pet into, if you were in a treatment facility, or you might want, pet therapy might be beneficial to you. Music therapy might be helpful for you, or just having some exchange listening. There might be things that you've identified that were not helpful. If you can't stand watching a movie when you're not feeling well, the last thing you want is someone to come in and pop in a video. You need to write these things down. So the ninth part of the crisis plan is, how are your supporters going to know when you're starting to enter a point where you're no longer needing your crisis plan? So these can be simple signs that things like you're starting to eat again, or you've been taking your medication for 2 weeks, or you're sleeping through the night for 3 days, things like this. So you're still going to be in a healing process, but you no longer need them to continue to do everything for you. We all want to be self-sufficient. So that is your crisis plan. And then we have a post-crisis plan. And in your post-crisis plan, it starts out with how will you know when you're out of the crisis? What are things going to, how do you want to feel when you're out of a crisis? And how would you, you know you're not going to be 100%, so you're going to have your supporters are going to know how they might be able to help you as you return home. You're going to have a list of people who is going to help you drive you home, where are you going to go, things like this. Who would you like to have helping you post-crisis? Maybe somebody can come and stay in your home with you for a week, or check on you daily for a few days. Only you know what you need. Signs that the next part of the post-crisis plan would be signs that you're beginning to feel worse. What are the wellness tools at this time that you can use to start to keep yourself feeling better? So the next part is signs that you can go back to using your daily maintenance plan. So you might have a kind of a resiliency plan, a plan for bouncing back. It might not be your full daily maintenance plan, but you want to get back to that eventually. Other things you might want to consider: changing when you want to change your RAP plan. What did you learn from the crisis? Were there certain people that you could count on and not? Certain things that were helpful or not? What did you learn from the crisis? There might be people that you need to thank that helped you through this crisis, and there may be people you need to make amends with. This is a time that you're going to start. These are other things you might want to consider. And then you'll have a timetable for resuming your responsibilities. You might need to, and this can be a specific plan for, you might need to only go back to work full-time or part-time for a little while. You might need someone to tend to your children for a few days while you're in this healing process. So you're going to have a step-by-step plan for resuming these responsibilities. So that's kind of a RAP plan. And then you kind of recreate your RAP plan according to the things that worked for you and did not work for you. This is a plan to keep yourself well. We call it a Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And so thank you for listening, and stay well.